Hi everyone. So I want to talk to you today about design in nature, and specifically types of patterns we see over and over again in plants that help them to survive in the world. So if we come over to these houseplants, we can take a look at these leaves and see that they grow in that spiral pattern that we've talked about. You can see them start this tiny little leaf, and as the leaves have been growing longer, they kind of stay out of each other's way and spiral all the way down this plant. And you can see that pattern in every one of these little branches. And the reason that this pattern comes up so much is because these leaves all need sunlight to grow. That's why they're tilting upwards, trying to catch everything they can out of these windows. But also, these leaves don't want to be blocking each other from the sunlight, so they've figured out the best way to grow so that they can stay out of each other's way and catch as much sunlight as possible. And because these leaves are this narrow, they've found out that this spiral pattern is the best way for them to grow. And if we go to a plant with wider leaves, we can see that they grow with a different pattern. So for example, if we take a look at this one, we can see that these leaves seem like they're growing in pairs. And because they're way wider and growing two at a time, they grow on opposite sides of the branches each other, and each little pair of leaves that grows is almost horizontal to the other one. They're about 90 degrees apart, and like the first one, you can see this kind of continue all the way down the plant as they try to go and catch the sunlight coming through this window again, and try to stay as much out of each other's way as they possibly can. Now, once you learn that this is how these plants are growing, and this is how they try to catch all of the sunlight they can, you can kind of take a look at any of them and start to see the same kind of pattern, where the plants are growing in a way where they try to space themselves out as evenly as possible, and depending on the shapes of their leaves, they're going to make spirals, they'll make straight angles, they just spread themselves out as far as they can. And this isn't just true for houseplants. Once the snow melts and spring starts and things start growing again, you can kind of go outside and try to find these patterns out in nature.